All right, Donald, how you handling the cold?
Not too well. You know, us southern Louisiana boys, we can't take too much of this cold weather.
Hello again, everybody. Don Stevens, HorseManDon here with another edition of the HorseManDon Show. Well, this is episode number 11 as we've completed 11 weeks of our thoroughbred season here at Delta Downs. We'll race again this Wednesday through Saturday night with post times at 5:40 p.m. That will be the schedule until the meet comes to a close on March the 10th. So we're starting the back half of the season with a new year here in 2018. Well, as always, I show up early on a Tuesday morning. I did so this morning as well, but right after I got here, they canceled training for the day because of cold temperatures. When I showed up, the temperature was in the low 20s and nobody was on the track because the track was frozen. So they're working hard right now to get it ready for racing the rest of the week. So I couldn't go on the track, I couldn't watch racing, but I did catch up with some interesting people here at Delta Downs. On this edition of the show, we're going to talk to Shane Wilson, who's got a filly in on Friday night's Lookout Stakes here at Delta Downs. He'll tell us about that. We also talked to Dana Whited and talked to her about how she trains horses in the cold weather. We also spoke with Jockey's agent Don Simington, an ex-rider, had to deal with a lot of cold during his career. And we caught up with trainer Donald Melancon. We'll get to know him just a little bit as we've never had him on the HorseManDon Show before. All that plus a lady that we're very fond of here in Delta Downs in the racing office that helps us out a whole lot. And she's been here a lot of years. She's got some stories to tell. Right now, let's get started on this week's edition of the HorseManDon Show. Just tell me about Glide Baby Glide going this weekend in the Lookout Friday night.
Yeah, we're taking a shot. She's run second in the race before. She's run third in some other stakes races, so it's a stake for horses. Never won a stake, so get her a chance maybe if she can get in there and win one and become a stakes winner.
Yeah. How's she been training?
She's doing good. She's run a couple of fourths here and two other than her 20 claiming races and optional allowance. And I really thought that's what this stake would turn out to be, like a two other than or so, and it is.
Yeah. Now she's what, 5 years old?
Yes.
She's had a pretty good career, and she's made some money.
Yeah, she's solid, $200,000 earner. Good hard trying little filly.
And she's owned by one of your main owners, right?
Yeah, Mr. Wayne Davis.
Wayne
yes.
Davis, yeah. Okay. All right, let's talk about the cold weather training. Obviously, training got canceled this morning. How do you keep your horses warm, and what do you do to change things up when the weather gets like this?
Well, really, all you can do is ride them in the barn. You know, when the track's closed, so we'll just shed row them, ride them in the barn, keep blankets on them, heat lamps in the stalls, and we close in the barn with the tarps. You know, try to keep them as comfortable as possible.
Yeah. How good do the heat lamps do? I notice you have them on most all your horses.
They put them on all of them. You know what? You don't think they really work that much until it's cold like this, and you go stand underneath it, and you can feel a big difference. So,
yeah.
You know, keeping them heat light and lots of hay and alfalfa they'll eat to stay warm, and that's about all we can do for them.
Now that's what you do in the morning. Do you do anything at night when it gets this cold for actual racing? Change your routine at all?
No, not really. I mean, everything's the same. You just bring them with paddock with the blankets on, and try to keep them as warm as soon as you can after the race. And there's nothing really changes in the race, I don't find.
Down here on the Gulf Coast, not a lot of experience from folks racing this cold weather, is it?
No, we don't have to deal with this very often. This is really a very, very cold time for us.
One of the coldest you've seen here, huh?
First time, yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, you've had a great season. Keep going and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Don. We got some awful cold weather here. How you dealing with it?
Trying to stay indoors as much as possible.
Stay on the phone and do your job, huh?
That's it. Just play phone tag with everybody.
Now, you had a long career riding. Tell me about riding in the cold. How's it different? How much of that did you do?
I did a lot in Oklahoma and Oklahoma Park, and it's brutal. You know, you have to kind of change the way you ride a little bit, and the horse dictates a lot of how you ride, but it definitely slows you down.
What about the amount of clothes you wear? You got to make weight and things, so how does that work?
I was blessed to be light all my life, so I could bundle up pretty good, but even for the guys that are heavy, you have to bundle up or you can't ride in it.
Does it change your style of riding at all, or you just go out and do the same thing?
You try and go out and do the same thing. You know, you still have to ride your race when the gates open. It's, you know, the race is on, you still have to ride according to how it sets up.
How about the horses? How do they adapt? The horses seem to like it cold better than hot, don't they?
Right, I think they do better in the cold. Like I said, the brutal cold, I don't know, but they still run their races. It just, some of them, I think it's like all of us, we like it a little better than others, so they handle stuff better than others.
Now tell everybody, what jockeys do you have this season?
I got Alfredo Contreras and Jairo Rodriguez.
All right, so you've been doing pretty well, huh?
Yes, things are going real well.
They seem like a couple of nice guys to work with, right?
Oh yeah, they're real nice guys.
How did you get hooked up with them?
I started with Jairo when he first started riding at Shreveport 2 years ago, and Alfredo, I've known him for a long time. I rode with him, and he'd come up to Shreveport a few times, and we just hooked up and asked me to take his book down to here.
Now that you've been out of the saddle for a while, what's it like being an agent? Have you totally adjusted now?
I think I've adjusted. I still miss riding a little bit, but I'm enjoying my new career.
Yeah. Do you ever get up on a horse?
No.
You never get up on one?
No, them days are over.
You hung up your tack for good, huh?
I sold it or gave it away just to make sure I didn't even attempt myself.
There you go. Well, we sure enjoyed watching you. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
It's time to take a break here on the HorseManDon Show. This show is brought to you by the Chalkbuster, who gives his picks each and every day for simulcast tracks from throughout the country. Authored by Mike Barker up in Ohio. He makes some great picks that'll put some money in your pocket. You can get those picks at brisnet.com and twinspires.com. It's the Chalkbuster. It's no chalk, all value every day. You don't want to miss it. Check it out online, again, at brisnet.com or twinspires.com. Well, we just started the second half of our thoroughbred season here at Delta Downs. It runs until March the 10th, as we mentioned before, and we've had some big performances in the jockey and trainer ranks. Jockey Diego Sainz is having another tremendous season as he seeks his fourth leading rider title here at Delta Downs, and also Carl Broberg leading the nation for another year in total wins, and he leads Delta Downs in the standings as well. Let's take a look at the entire set of standings and then get back to this edition of the HorseManDon Show. All right, Donald, how you handling the cold?
Not too well. Us Southern Louisiana boys, we can't take too much of this cold weather.
We're not used to it, are we?
No, sir.
How many horses did you have here?
Presently, right now, I have 24 in training. Presently,
24. Wow, that's pretty big bunch, huh?
Pretty big number, yeah. Pretty good number.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been training?
I've been training on my own for 23 years.
23 years.
Yes, sir.
Now, where are you from originally?
Originally from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Lafayette. You got a pretty good crew here at Delta?
Real good crew. I have my same crew I had for the last 4 or 5 years, and they pretty dependable.
Yeah.
Real good crew.
Can you imagine yourself doing anything else other than training horses?
No, sir. I graduated high school, and it's the only job I ever had since I graduated high school. I was associated with the racehorse.
Got to really have a passion for it, huh?
Very much, very much. It's, both of my grandfathers were trainers in the 60s and 70s, and, they kind of instilled that in me at a young age, I can remember myself going to the old Evangeline down little dirt tracks, the little match races, and from 2, 3, 4 years old, that's been in my blood ever since.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, do you have any horses in this week here at Delta?
Yes, I have Wednesday. I have one in the first race Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a couple in Saturday night.
Well, you got a pretty good load this week, huh?
Yes, sir.
Anything you do different to prepare your horses when it's this cold?
No, not really. Not too much we can do. Basically, just try to keep them happy and keep them from hurting themselves.
Yeah, that's about all you can do.
That's about all you can do.
Well, let's get out of the cold, and I wish you good luck and a Happy New Year, okay?
Thank you. Same to you, sir.
Well, bundle up and hold your breath. It's tough. You can't train the horses, and they feel good, buck and play and kick, and it just changes everybody's routine.
Yeah.
It makes it hard. frozen hoses and it's just hard to deal with. It's
Yeah.
winter.
What did you do all those years you race at Oaklawn in the cold weather?
You know, they would stay on the track all night. They're equipped for it, set up for winter racing, and so. But a lot of mornings the track would say open at 11 or 12 or 1 or 2, and you just waited all day. It got thawed out. They got you on it. Got to train. There was no schedule. You trained when they could get you on there.
Yeah.
And
We're not used to this down here, are we?
no, not. We've only dealt with this a few times a year that I've been coming, and you know, only for a few days. That's the good news. It doesn't come and stay for a month. I hope not a month.
What do the horses do in the barn when you can't get them out? You got to walk them a lot, right?
Yeah, we just hand walk them, and if it goes on long enough, you know, we'll saddle them and ride them for 30 minutes apiece. We shed roll them is what we call it.
Yeah.
So just try to keep them a little bit level. They get too high,
Yeah.
and they get to bucking and playing, and you know, you worry about them injuring themselves in their stalls.
Yeah.
So that's the worst part. You know, you don't want an injury. You know?
If they're not out there training and expending that injury, does it change what they eat?
No, I mean, you have to keep them on their feed, and we keep them on their vitamins and stuff, and they tend to eat more hay when it's cold, helps them stay warm. So you'll see an increase in the amount of hay you go through.
Yeah.
It's how they regulate their body temperature. It's-
Well, tell us about this week. You got a few horses in.
I have 2 in Wednesday, maidens, and I've got a first-time starter in Thursday, a maiden.
Okay.
And that's it for the week here.
Now, your barn's been heating up a little bit. You won a few races lately,
We had
so
a good week last week. We
gotta feel good about that.
And 4, yeah, we had a good week. Yeah, got them going, and all the babies are ready. A couple of them did start one time in 2017, but the rest are all ready to go for 18. Everyone will hit the overnight now.
Well, good.
Good to
We'll
go.
have a hot second half of the season,
I
okay?
hope
And
so.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too, Don. Ooh.
A little nippy, isn't it?
Oh, my legs are so cold, like a popsicle. Oh.
All right, Rose, you're back here at Delta Downs. You retired, but you come back and help out. Tell us about that.
Well, when things get bad, the phone rings and back I come.
Yeah? Well, you do a great job. Now, you've been around horse racing a long time. You've seen a lot of things, haven't you?
Yes, let's see, I came here, I think, first time I just came over was 1976. And I said, where is this place? We drove past, you know, goats and chickens and all kinds of stuff. I said, there's a racetrack out here someplace. And I was used to the Chicago racetracks,
Yeah.
the big ones. Anyway, I didn't realize I was going to end up coming to spend a big portion of my life here.
Yeah, at Delta Downs, huh?
Right.
Now, where were you at before that? Tell us where your life has taken you.
Well, my husband was an engineer, and so we traveled all over, pretty much all over the country, lived different places, and he worked all over the world. So then we ended up in Houston and accidentally got a running quarter horse, and that was, you know, Katie barred the door after that.
Yeah.
And ended up with lots of horses and came over here, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you eventually made it to Delta Downs here.
Right.
And you worked here for many years, and now you fill in, right? So what's your
Right.
role? You work in the racing office, right?
Right. I do whatever needs doing, but
Yeah.
mostly I get the program ready.
Yeah.
And sometimes fill in as a claims clerk or whatever they need.
Yeah.
People ask me what my title was, and I said they don't have a title for, you know, like cleanup batter or
Yeah.
something like that.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, I trained first here for a few years, and then
Quarter horse or thoroughbreds?
well, mostly thoroughbreds. I had a few quarter horses, but I didn't have anything of very good quality.
Yeah.
You know, and I was lucky to scratch out a win here and there, but
Yeah.
mostly thoroughbreds. And I raced here in Evangeline and Jefferson and Fairgrounds and Louisiana Downs, pretty much everything in Louisiana, and then took a stable to Sportsman's Park in
Oh,
Chicago
wow.
one year, and that was a education. Went in February, and
Yeah.
the horses thought they had died. The stewards called me in and asked me why I was leaving, and I said, it's too cold, I have to go back.
And now we got cold weather again, don't
Yeah, that's what happened here.
we? Yeah. Well, we're glad to see you back. Thanks for filling in, and thanks for all the hard work over the years.
Well, thank you, Don.
Appreciate it.
I love listening to your announcing, and I think you've put Delta Downs on the map.
Well, thank you
Good
so much,
job.
Rose. I
Good
really
job.
appreciate it.
All right.
Well, have a happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Well, that wraps up another edition of the Horseman Don Show from Delta Downs. Again, I didn't get out on the track to see any training today due to the cold weather. The temperatures are expected to be low all throughout the week, so if you come out to the track, bundle up. If you're up north watching simulcasting, of course, stay as warm as you possibly can. Well, as we mentioned before, we've got the Lookout Stakes this Friday, the Be Connected coming up on Saturday, 4 more stakes races next weekend, January 12th and 13th, and then we'll look forward to the biggest day of the year remaining here at Delta Downs. That'll be February 10th, Louisiana Premier Night, with 10 stakes races, over $800,000 in total purse money for horses bred right here in the state of Louisiana. Well, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, like the video, leave a comment below, and of course subscribe to the channel. We need all the support we can get. Well, for everybody here at Delta Downs, I'm Don Stevens, Horseman Don, and we'll see you back here next week with another edition of the Horseman Don Show.